Good evening to my channel viewing audience. Both of you. It's your man Shane Black coming back. Got a question for you. Now ask the question, take my vitamins, and then we will answer the question together. And by answering the question together, what I mean is that I will tell you what I think about it. You will consider what I have said, and then you'll be like, damn, that motherfucker was correct. The question being, how much dumber are many black children going to be if schools go to distance learning only, or even if it's partial distance learning? Think about it. While I take my vitamins, you should probably take your vitamins too. Go ahead, let's take them together. Oh yeah, I can feel my system being energized right now. People talk of systemic racism. Talk of defunding the police because of systemic racism. As they say, what does that even really mean? It means that the system, something in that system, is racist. Now, the last time there was anything that was systemically racist that I can recall was that crime bill co-authored by Joe Biden. The one where he was like, I believe he was in Congress or some such, talking about predators after your daughters, and we need to lock them up. You know, we need some more police and shit to throw the motherfuckers in jail. Black folks were getting 100 years, 10 times as much as white folks, because of that disparity between the sentencing for powdered cocaine, which is the white folks, and crack, which is the black folks. Yeah, Joe Biden did that, by the way. That was systemically racist. And it was systemically racist due to the fact that they chose an activity that black people engaged in. Well, crime is really an activity. Come on now. But the product was the same, cocaine. However, white people prefer the powdered version of it. Black people, it's more expensive, mind you. And Caucasian individuals tended to have more money. They still tend to have more money than black people. But that crack, that crack was inexpensive. And black people couldn't get their hands on that powder, but they could damn sure get their hands on some crack. And that's what they did. So when you make an activity that both parties engage in, the sale of cocaine, and you do that, that is systemically racist. Even though the law did not say white people will get shorter sentences than black people, or black people will get longer sentences than white people, you look at the end result. And that's what we need to do as it relates to this whole situation with distance learning. Now, instead of waiting to see some results, let's talk about it beforehand. First, computers. Who has computers? And I'm not talking about your cell phone, your little mini computer shit. Affluent, rich people, they have computers. I got like 15, 16 computers and only like 3-4 people in the house. You know, so you don't take the computer with you. You just, this is the bedroom computer and it's linked to the network. So now I'm going to use the bathtub computer, and then the kitchen computer, and the fireplace computer, the bowling alley computer, because you're rich, you got a bowling alley in your house. Middle class people have computers. Dear, we've got 2 computers, let the kids use yours because I'm using mine, and whatever. Then you have low income individuals, commonly referred to as the poor. How many computers do you think the motherfuckers have in the house? When you're rich, it doesn't matter. Well, shit, you got computers in there your ass don't even need. Middle class, we can afford the necessities. We can't necessarily afford the luxuries. We can do things every now and then. The poor in this country, a computer, or to the poor in this country, a computer is a luxury. Use your fucking cell phone. Use your cell phone. But you ain't got no whole bunch of computers in the house. That's strike one. Now, when it comes to broadband access, I will have to say, generally, poor folks are in the urban community, the projects, excuse me, and therefore there's some high-speed internet and shit going on all up in there. So the internet speed would not be the problem. And since likely they wouldn't be using fuck the train, because I'm not going to try to edit this shit. Now I threw off my train of thought. High-speed internet is not the problem. If they're using a phone or a tablet, then their cellular provider will give them that high speed. But if they do have a computer, then chances are they may still get high speed, but likely their data will be slowed down because they can't afford the unlimited plan or the shit where they won't slow your data speed down during peak. Well, hell, they all slow your data speed down during peak times. My man. Told you the train threw me off. But they're not staying in the country where, and when I say in the country, I don't mean the United States. I mean some rural part of the country, we'll say, where you don't have high-speed internet access. But more importantly, the most important thing I can say to you about this is the black parent will be the main issue. Let me get some vitamins. Oh, it's good. Affluent or rich individuals may not have the intelligence to instruct their children, but they can pay somebody to do that shit for them. Here, Bill Gates, go teach my kid. Middle class individuals may not have the money for a private tutor or instructor for their children, but they're middle class. Chances are their level of intellect is such that if their child has a problem with this homework, why sure, hold on Sherman, if you 14 plus 8, 4 plus 8, and 2, and then you carry the 1, and then there you go, it's 22. However, low income / poor parents will generally lack the intelligence to properly instruct their children. And a disproportionate number of people of color are poor. That's where it gets fucked up. That's why distance education, remote learning, will set black people back in a way that y'all motherfuckers ain't even thought of yet. Maybe you haven't thought of it because there's been no media coverage around it. The media doesn't want you to think about it. Actually, shit, I think I might call the local paper and ask them why they don't run a story on that. Back of the bus again, black people. Back of the bus again. This time it's the school bus. Look, I know of what I speak because I tutored low income children. I wasn't even paid for that shit. I'm gonna tell you a brief story. Because I was in the ghetto, I went down to the ghetto, get me some sex without strings and shit like that. And I was over at baby girl house, and she was yelling at her daughter, who was in the 2nd grade. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm like, well, yeah, what's up? What's happening? Yeah, because she can't do this shit, and the motherfucking homework she need to be doing the motherfucker and this shit. Okay, well, why ain't you helping her? Yeah, I don't be doing this shit, Okay. Now, the shit she didn't know, because like I said, the girl was 7. It was a crossword puzzle, a math crossword puzzle. So whereas it said something like 2 across, so I'd say 2 across, 6 plus 1. Yeah, 5 squared, 6 plus 1, SEVEN, 7. But her mother couldn't figure that shit out. I told her, more or less, to get her ass back in the kitchen, start cooking that motherfucking food again, and then get a snack and shit. And then I helped her daughter with her homework. Then I made a point of, fuck it, I wasn't going over there every day. But yeah, every 2-3 days out the week, and I go and I help the little girl with her homework, and helped her brother too. But that's what these children will face with distance learning. And no offense to any stupid fucking parents that are out there. Okay? Look, you probably got the short end of the stick too, because your mom and or dad, if you even knew who the fuck that nigga was, likely didn't have the intelligence to pass any intelligence along to you. Then if you were in a one of those school districts where the books are hella old, your teachers really didn't give a fuck, and neither did your parents, well, I had to do that shit too. So it may not be your fault. You might be stupid because your parents were stupid. And then their parents before them were uneducated, probably because civil rights and the white folks kept them down. But if you want to talk about systemic racism, remote learning is systemically racist. That's it, that's all, Genevieve. Think about what I've said, and if you have children, contact the school district. If you don't have children, still contact the school district. And the reason you should do that even if you don't have children is because these dumber children of color are going to grow up to be dumber adults of color. And then they're going to break into your fucking house and probably slit your damn throat sooner or later, because you'll be old by then, hella old. That's it, that's all, channel viewer.